Are you ready to push your limits, to shatter expectations and redefine what is possible? Welcome to the Victory Multisport podcast, the show that fuels your passion and ignites your drive. Whether you're a seasoned triathlete, a weekend warrior, or a beginner dreaming of crossing that finish line, we're here to equip you with the knowledge, inspiration, and community that you need to achieve your endurance goals. We'll celebrate individual wins and great accomplishments, no matter the size, speed, or publicity. Get ready to be inspired by stories of incredible athletes, learn from expert coaches, and discover the mindset that transforms ordinary individuals into being uncommon. This isn't just a podcast. It's your training partner, your cheerleader, and your coach to ultimate victory. So lace up, clip in, and dive right in. It's time to unleash your potential. It's time for the Victory Multisport podcast. This is Coach Sarge, and I'm with my co-host, Coach Kenny.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Doing very well.
Doing well. And you're all suntan and sunburned from doing your long swims, getting ready for your big race later.
It wasn't laying out, I can tell you that.
That's for sure.
I didn't accidentally tan.
You might have accidentally lifted, but not accidentally tan.
Correct.
Outstanding. Well, we wanted to welcome everybody to this episode of the podcast. We have an extremely special guest with us today, Billy Dugan. How you doing, Bill?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Bill is a sports guy. He's an Army veteran, served in the sandbox. He's a high school football coach. Mm-hmm. He's a sports dad and coach, volunteer coach, and he just recently completed a 70.3 Ironman that we're going to unpack and talk about. But I'd really like to just go back to the very beginning, because there was a time when you were a child, right, a young man playing baseball, and your coach was Coach Kenny.
Big Kenny.
What up?
Yeah, so maybe we take it all the way back and bring people forward to today, right? So what was your experience there, Coach Kenny, the first time you put eyes on the 10-year-old Billy Dugan playing ball?
Yeah, it was funny because I had coached one team that Billy was not on. Billy was on another team with the Divines, and we would always clash in our games because it was community against community.
Sure.
And I don't even think I was supposed to be the head coach, but it just kind of fell in my lap that the guy that I was with kept asking me questions, and then, I'd hype up the team. The team started doing really well. We ended up winning that league that year. And then shortly thereafter, I had an opportunity to take the best of the best in Springdale, put them on one team, and create a travel team that we are going to be playing bigger communities. And Springdale at that time was a single A, very small school. And so I grabbed Billy off of I think you were on the orange and black team, and I took a couple off this, but I had to have him. He reminded me of when I was little, like little, short, stocky, like inquisitive, like asked a lot of questions, personality galore. The kids loved and respected him, and I brought him on. His dad and I coached that tournament team, so it was really, really cool.
Yeah, so I think that I know we want to talk to Bill about that experience as well, but I think your experience playing ball growing up, and then your experiences through the coaches you had, and even in college playing ball, it's showing that you're a coach at heart all the way back. Right? In the day, man.
Some of my best forms of life have been shaped by somebody else and how they led me, and having that opportunity at that time, I didn't even have a kid that was playing baseball.
Right.
I got lured to a field, and then these guys, I remember him like a Thursday afternoon, rode his bike up. His dad probably lived in the neighborhood down half a mile to a mile away. Mm-hmm. Rode his bike up, knocked on my door, and asked, could Coach Kenny come out and play? And this is me as like an adult, and I'm like, holy smokes, someone just asked me to come out and play. Like, hell yes, I'm going to. So I'd come out and throw ball with them, and it was unbelievable. I said I was telling stories to Sayward about Bill, and one of which was all the guys on Halloween came up to my house to trick or treat, and I was, we had the big bars, and everybody came to my house. It was their friends, and everybody showed up there. All my candy was gone. Here comes Billy. I'm like, oh crap, what do? I gave him a pound of ground meat,
cleaned out the fridge.
Yeah, it was a pound of Isley's chipped ham. His dad called me. He's like, did you give my son cold cuts? I'm like, yes, I did. I ran out of snacks. He loved it though. Like everyone's like, did Billy just get really chipped ham? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, Bill, what is your recollection of Coach Kenny back in the day? You remember these stories of showing up at his house and throwing ball in the street?
I do. I do. Same energy then as he has now. I remember the long socks you wore, the energy at third base, just the hype, and it was. I don't think there was a kid out there that looked at Coach Kenny and said, "No, I don't want to be him." I think everybody looked at you like, "Man, I want to be Coach Kenny."
Okay.
From the eye black to the socks to the pants.
Oh, he was eye blacking back in those days too.
Mind you, I was coaching and I was fully swagged out for these
fully
kids.
dressed like he was going in.
Yeah.
I was always ready to go in, and it's part of the thing that got me so excited was watching his first towering home run. Mm-hmm. Right, and we had a kid on the team, Chris Takash, and Chris didn't make a travel team. And he texted me, a direct messaged me not too long back. He goes, I don't know if you even remember, you had called me, and I knew it was you because of caller ID back then. And you had said, hey, I was a scout watching a Springdale Dynamo baseball game, and I was really impressed by number 34, keep playing hard. And he said, I didn't know it then, but my mom and dad told me it was you who called me. And that changed. Chris was on our team, and he had a ferocious run that was a phone call like that. The little things that could change the trajectory of something. But yeah, I was all in, but he hit a moonshot down in Butler, and I was teasing him the night before. There was a lot of younger girls there. I'm like, dude, Billy. And his nickname, I called him the BD Express, Billy Dugan Express. I'm like, Express. I'm like, I think all these girls are here to see you. And he's like, who? Which ones? And then he teed off with a bomb. I'm not sure that thing even came down. It wasn't.
I think it's still up there. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, I said
Send
to him,
into orbit.
I said to Bill, I'm like, Billy, that thing needed a flight attendant. It was like a moonshot. Like, unbelievable.
Well, I either hit a home run or I struck out, so it was one of the two I was going to
So you were a Babe Ruth, right? You just going for it.
Yeah, I was. I didn't connect very much, but when I did, it went.
Okay. All right. So what are those things that you learned maybe back then, Bill? Like those things as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, playing ball, just a couple of them that, Coach Kenny was involved in that sets you on a path, I think, for leadership.
I think when you're at that age, that family, that team culture, camaraderie, the family, I think there's a certain age where you understand it and it brings you together, and then the rest of your life you're chasing it.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's the next sport, the next season, it's a high bar being set by coaches like Kenny and the kids that were around then, because then you're always comparing everything. Sure.
I think that you've told me another story, and whether it's this team or around that same time, you were even getting the boys swagged the same way, wearing the uniform, being a team together.
Oh, yeah.
And that might have even attracted a little bit of attention, maybe not in the good way, from you.
Oh, right? I can tell you, we showed up, and everybody knew we were there.
That's right.
We were loud. We weren't obnoxious. We were loud. We were ready to go, and we looked damn well good. Mm-hmm. Like we were ready to play. And I had ordered the kids high red socks, high blue socks, all gray pants, a blue undershirt, a red undershirt with a gray sleeveless. Mm-hmm. The only problem was it had a Cleveland Indians logo on it. So Cleveland Indians got a little bit worked up at us and wanted
they tried to sue you.
Yeah, they get that little Springdale out of there. They're wearing all of our hats. Like I bought them hat. I mean, we were the Springdale Indians, right? I think is what we went by.
They're the actual nice vest jerseys. I mean,
well, I think that, when we talk about what we do today, talk about what we both did in the military, there's an element to being in the uniform, being part of a tribe, in this case, the Springdale Indians, being part of the U.S. Army, being part of the Marine Corps, being part of victory, that sets us apart when we show up, even today. People recognize it. People see us. They see us coming. They hear us coming. It's a storm that occurs, and it gets people ready to perform. It gets people psyched up to, as a 10U, to go out and play ball and hit a homer and hit something that's over the fence, and try to talk to the girls after the game, or whatever the motivation was in that moment. Today we go to races, and we'll talk more about yours that you just completed coming up, but there was a sense of that same team going on last weekend, both in Ohio and at Lake Placid, that no one could beat, right? There's just no way. And I think that's a great aspect of whether it's youth baseball, soccer, high school sports, definitely military teams, and even our post-collegiate adult teams that we're on and things like that. I think it's a very important aspect.
You know, I hearing Billy say it, I never even thought of it when you said, when you set the bar that way and you create that team and that family, you're searching for it the rest of your life. And I never thought of it that way. You actually like stopped me in my tracks. And, and as I say that, like, I used to say it to the girls in Venom. I'd bring up my strongest Billy Dugan, and I'd say, Bill, break this pencil. One pencil. Number 2. Snaps it. I'd give him 12 pencils together. I'd say, break that. He couldn't do it. And I'd say, so I'm telling you right now, if you play like an individual, we'll be broken. We play as a team and we show up as a team. We're not going to be stopped. And that is like that. And here comes the hooligans, or what they called us in Ohio a couple years back, the hoodlums, hooligans, like with the flags and loud. And man, oh man, it gives the athlete such a sense of belonging. and hey, I'm part of that.
That's right.
And everybody else wants to be in part of that.
For sure.
We get it all the time. I see you guys at Mighty Moraine. You guys show up. I want that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Billy, you took that youth baseball, adventure that you went on with Coach Kenny. Where did you go from there? High school?
Yeah, I think from there, it was football. I think I played youth baseball up until probably junior high. Same with basketball, but we were a real football family.
Big time.
Yeah, my older brother was in it pretty heavily. I followed, then my younger. I mean, there was 12 years of Dugans going straight through the high school football ranking. So
right.
One's coaching at a high level collegiately.
Yeah, my younger brother coaches at Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
And my older brother actually coached at Liberty. He's a strength coach. He's not there anymore, but he played at Liberty and then went on to coach for a few years as well. Yeah.
And that was, we can blame it on Coach Kenny or give him credit for it, but I'm sure it was your family and your dad and he was all involved in that as well.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, absolutely. He was involved in the
all of it.
Youth football, all of it, from youth baseball, youth football. He was there every step of the way, and
his dad
kind of set the foundation for where I'm at now with my youth coaching and coaching as well, right? And so,
awesome.
he was involved every step of the way, the whole way up until the last one graduated.
Bro, your dad he put a sports bar restaurant right next to the football field.
Okay,
called Champs.
All right,
and you would go down, watch Springdale whoop somebody, because at that point they were really good.
Yeah,
and then we would walk across the street, go into his dad's restaurant, and I drank, eat. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, nice. So he's an entrepreneur and he's a sports guy.
Yeah, they had a few businesses growing up.
Okay.
Throughout, I think when you look back throughout our life, you see like the highs and the lows are the lows, right? I mean, your parents owning businesses, driving nice cars, owning big houses, to what that can do or what happens that, I guess, when you don't maintain it,
right?
Or you don't hold that standard that we just talked about,
Yeah.
So it was quite a ride, but yeah, football was the sport.
I have a very similar ride. My dad was an entrepreneur. He had his own business. He worked in corporate when I was really young. No.
I thought he did do payroll.
Well, he ultimately, but
something.
Yeah, he but didn't like corporate. Started his own business and did that while we were all growing up. But then he ended up having to start over.
Yeah,
and that's where he got into the computer, based payrolls and things of that nature. Eventually, but always searching for something different. Always searching to be on his own. And so it sounds like a very similar operation. Yeah. Although we never had a restaurant named Champs next to a sports field. So
that
sounds like a great idea.
I don't know if they would recommend it now, but it was some good time. We had a good few years.
Chicken sandwich, Buffalo chicken sandwich was fire.
Was thing,
fire.
Yeah. So Billy, I want to celebrate you as a veteran, and so it sounds like after high school, possibly maybe college, I'm not sure. You joined the U.S. Army.
Yeah, actually. So my first hero is my older brother.
Okay.
And I always thought that I'd play football like he did. I'm the only one out of the 6 kids that didn't get straight A's.
All right. So I love that kid. That's why.
I wasn't the scholarly my other brothers and sisters were, and so that dream of playing the level he didn't come to me. It just wasn't meant to be, right? And so I did actually play a year of football at Waynesburg. Didn't go as planned. I didn't really commit to anything other than who's buying the 12-pack tonight. And, it was funny because before I went to the Waynesburg, I said I wanted to join the military. And I was like 290 pounds. I was a big boy. So, yeah, I spent a year at Waynesburg, and I wasn't really ready to commit to myself yet. I think that every night, like I said, I was there with my cousin, first of all. We were roommates together, and every night, for me, it was who's going to buy the next rack of beer. I think he was a different kind of animal. He can do that and go to class the next morning. I would just lay there all day like lazy, you know what. So my stay at Waynesburg wasn't long. Like I said, it was barely a year. I actually came home winter break, and my parents were like, "What the hell are you doing with all your stuff?" And I said, "Well, I'm not coming back." And it was a surprise to everybody, right? And so,
Billy, when you made that decision, did you have what your next step was? Or was it a leap of faith of something I'll figure out?
in my heart, I knew I wanted to serve, right? I think growing up, one of my best friends, John McCulley, at that point, he was at his first year at the Naval Prep Academy. He played fullback for the Navy. I had another one of my best friends, Adam Shepard. He was at St. Francis, and I think he was getting ready to go to, at that point in time, the National Guard. And, you know, for them, it was something they can sign up for and know they can get a date. For me, I said I wanted to do it, but it was one of those first things that I said I wanted to do that I think I was ready to commit to, right? And so imagine like me being a young college dropout, 290 pounds, sloppy as hell, saying, yeah, I'm going to go join the Marines. Like, everyone looked at me like I was crazy. And so moved back home, started working at the bar, and then that dream and that ambition started to wear away again. I was hanging around with the wrong people, probably drinking too much. And my older brother, who was a strength coach at Liberty at the time, he said, listen, dude, you got to get your freaking life together. So I'm going to give you one chance. You're going to move down with me and we're going to do this, or, you know, you're going to be a nothing the rest of your life. Like, he was very blunt with me.
Wow. Did you fight that, or did you, okay, Colin, whatever it is?
At that point in time, Colin could have said jump, and I'd say how high. Like, he was still one of my heroes. And
well, he was also speaking the truth, right? So he kind of could see in your soul a little bit, and he could he knew that was his moment to act, or he was going to regret what that version of Billy was going to end up being, and he would have said, I should have made that call, right?
Yeah, and I think that I was actually, I felt so bad because I knew the bar he set at Liberty, and he wanted me to be there too. And for me not to accomplish that, I knew hurt him a little bit. It kind of felt like he failed. And so hearing him invite me down was almost like, okay, he still believes in me.
Right.
I'll do it.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I moved down to Lynchburg, Virginia. And, you know, I thought it was going to be like a party, right? Like it was when he played and I went down there. It couldn't be furthest from the truth. I went down there and he's like, all right. There was like 4 feet of snow on the ground. He's like, all right, well, listen, I'm going to work. You're going to go apply for jobs. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, you're going to go apply for jobs. You're going to pay rent, and we're going to talk when you get back. And probably about 2 weeks straight, I'd just walk the side of the highway in like knee-deep snow, applying to every fast food restaurant I can find. Finally, I got hired at KFC as a cook, and long story short, I mean, I would work out with him in the morning at Liberty with their players.
Right.
Go home, and, you know, if I was lucky that day, he'd get me to work. But he wasn't picking me up. Like, I was going to learn to get to and from. And Uber wasn't around back then. Like, I think we still had flip phones. And so, like, so I called him to pick me up one night at the end of my shift, and he goes, I'm not coming to get you. I worked all day, basically. Like, he's tired too. Like, he's like, oh, well, I guess I'm walking. And
how far was that?
4 miles. It was about 4 miles exactly.
Okay.
And so I would actually, the walk started to be like, well, I can freaking run this. So the walk started to be like a little bit of a jog, run. The jog became a run. And slowly but surely, like I would run the entire thing, and then it became kind of like something him and I looked forward to, because he would time me. I'd call him and say, "All right, go," and he'd say, "All right, got you," and he'd start the timer, and I would just take off, like not knowing any better,
Wow.
just running in the dark in these back roads, and you know, I mean, he taught me. Like I said, that was the first time in my life anyone really held me accountable.
Yeah.
Right towards the end of my career in high school, going into college. We spoke about the bar a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are going through a horrible divorce. You know, businesses, alcohol related, this and that. It was a weird time in our life. Like everything we knew growing up was just completely shattered.
Yeah.
But I was the oldest sibling, so I was like fighting and clawing to get my way out.
Mm-hmm.
My older brother Colin, I think, saw that, knew I needed to get out, and yeah, I went from 290 at Liberty, and I got down to about 195 in about 6 months.
Wow.
Working out with him and the football guys. Yeah,
And running
yeah, and run
home
going
from your
back and
shift,
forth.
right?
Yeah, and at that point in time, it was for the Marines. I tried to get in the Marines forever, and they came back and said that I had a shoulder surgery, and they wouldn't take me. The Army had me signed up and a date ready to go in like within 2 weeks, probably.
That happens. My brother was the same way. He tried, but he had broken his arm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take him. The Army would take him, so he went in the Army as well.
Yep. And
Yeah,
so
it happens.
And so yeah, that's what 2011. I left for basic training 2011, and I joined the Army. And yeah,
Billy, you know, great, you know, that your brother was there for you, that he intervened in your life in a way, you know, tough love, but shot straight with you and set you on a path. And I'm sure his attitude towards, you know, you having to be accountable for yourself and then ultimately accountable for others served you well in the Army and through boot camp. And there's the accountability level just goes to like 11 and they rip the knob off for that, right? For sure.
Yeah. And honestly, if we go back to when we talked about with Kenny coaching, you know, always chasing that's a standard, right? And so throughout my entire life, I mean, I think I've always thinking on the way here, like what we're going to talk about, what's the theme? And the thing I kept going back to is my entire life I've been surrounded by legends, from Coach Wagner at Springdale to the Knowles and Coach Pappy, you know, then my older brother, right? And then, you know, I joined the Army, and it's a standard. And I think he just reintroduced me to the standard that I let go. And once that was like, you know, reintroduced to me, right? I think I took it and ran with it because I loved it.
Billy, were you a freshman when he was a senior?
No, actually, my older brother, me, and my younger brother are all 4 years apart, so we're all 1 year away from playing with each other.
Okay.
We've never gotten to suit up with each other before.
The reason I say that is, so I'm now coaching him actively, and I know Colin, okay? So, great dude. But he was that guy, like, everybody in Springdale wanted to be him, right? He had all the varsity jackets on, good-looking kid, had scholarship offers. Yeah. And my cousin, Jay, was just going into Springdale, and he was scared of Colin. He's like, oh, man, he bumped into me in the hall. He didn't say anything to me, but, you know, and him and Colin came up to my house. I'm like, hey, Colin, my cousin's in Springdale now. Can you watch out for him? He's like, yeah, what's his name? I got him, you know, but he was petrified of Colin because, you know, there comes a freshman. He's a senior.
Is that Jay?
Jared, yeah. Was all afraid of him, you know, and I'm like, dude, I know these guys. I coach them. Like, don't be, there's nothing you need to worry about. But does he know you feel this way about him?
You know, I was thinking that as I was talking. I'm not sure. I'm sure he does. Like, he knows. I mean, I think he knows. Yeah. I think everybody, I mean, my family.
This is going to be a big gift to him here in this podcast if he doesn't know.
No. Yeah. I'm sure he'll smile and be thankful. He's always been there.
He's a parachute to you, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like he's been very influential, you know, along with all the other names that you mentioned, the coaches and the people in your life, and that's outstanding. Just to put a pin in, you know, your veteran service and, you know, thank you so much for what you did, what you volunteered to do, and the leadership that you provided. I went through your LinkedIn profile. I saw some of the deployments. I saw some of the duty stations that you've been on. and I saw some of the roles that you ultimately were squad leader and some other things, which not an easy job, because if anybody screws up in that squad, guess who's in trouble, right? Not them as much as you.
Of course.
Right? So go get your squad leader and report. Gosh, shoot. Right? What's going on now, right? So thank you for that, Billy. Thanks for all that. And, keeping the country safe, keeping us all safe. Thank you so much. So get out of the Army. It's drawdown time frame. People are getting, kind of pushed out a little bit, and you find your way back to college at some point, right? And you get your MBA and some other things. So
I got out of the Army in 2017, and man, what a transition. I mean, it took me probably up until I found victory.
Okay.
Chasing myself, what I was going to be, what I was going to do. It took me a long time to figure out that being a paratrooper was just something that I did. It wasn't like who I am, right? And
not too many civilian paratrooper jobs, right?
No, unfortunately not, right? So, thank God for my back. But I think that going out, got into sales, did very well, but it was always one of those things where it was like I was always chasing being a cop. I'm still open to being a cop, but it's I think that I didn't really start to understand what my purpose was until I started having kids.
Okay.
Right. And so I have 3 kids now. William's 8, Finnegan's 3, and my baby girl's turning 2 in about a week from now. And I think, I had my first one, I loved him to death. And second one, it took until I had Finnegan or my baby girl to figure out, like, dude, you have the best job in the world. Like, you're already rich. Like,
oh yeah.
You don't need to prove anything else to anybody.
That's right.
All you have to do is be a good dad and be a good example, right? So sometimes I still need reminded of that, right? I don't think nobody's perfect, but and it's one of those random thoughts when you're driving, kind of like when you get in the shower and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Like, it was a random thought when I was driving about just how fortunate I was, and it just hit me. And so, I got in this. It
is funny how kids come in and they flip everything up, because I think that was one of the things that we had said was, I don't want to be sitting here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday drinking, and like we need to be doing something different. Like I never wanted Lorelai to wake up one day and be like, what was my dad doing, man? Like everybody else was doing this, that, and the other thing, and he was playing cornhole every night, drinking. This, that, and that's that. It's funny when you start having those little eyes looking on you of what that means.
And I think that from Kenny and I's perspective, we were having a good time yucking it up, but we could see that there was no runway in the path that we were going on. Right, that was going to end up with health issues, possibly dropping dead, right, too early. Not being there for them, not doing the best job in the world as a dad if you're gone, right? Where, we started just changing. We just fixed it. Now, did we still have a couple beers here and there? Absolutely. But did we, go on benders? Nope. We went on benders trying to figure out how to run in this heat like today, right? And seeing dead animals on the side of the road, and like we figured it out, right? And so I think that I wrote that down. Best job in the world, Dad. Right. And I think that's very powerful stuff. Right. And I think I'd like to bring it back to you. You were going down a path there where you said the light bulb started going off.
It started to go off. And I think from getting out of the military until now, chasing all these things I wanted to be, all these things people thought I should be based off my previous experiences in the Army and whatnot. I think finally when I understood that, what is being a good dad, right? What does that mean to you? Right? And so, is it being a protector? Is it being a good example? Is it, saying the right things, doing the right things? And it's everything.
That's right. It's all of that. Right?
It's everything, right?
Making a couple bucks, paying the bills, right?
So, a little at a time, you start to take on more and more of that and understand, okay, well, I shouldn't be out of breath when I go up the stairs, right? And then the standard we talked about. Well, it's like the where I'm at right now in my physical ability isn't the standard of being a paratrooper, the standard I set for myself then.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's slowly but surely finding different ways to get back to that standard that I had for myself then, knowing that, you know, if shit hits the fan, I can't be the fat dad that can't pick up my kids and run.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So whether it's, you know, I kind of had this mentality, like, just be hard to kill.
Yeah. I like it.
Whether
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Whether it's like, whether I'm walking with Brian Peters in the last stretch of that 70.3, or whether I'm, you know, whether something's popping off at Walmart like the other day, like, I don't want to, like, especially with my skills and background, the last thing, you know, the last position I want to be in is a position where, you know, I can't pick up my kids or carry my wife and my kids somewhere and save them, right? And so, obviously that mindset probably comes from, you know, having the military background and the different people I listen to and, you know, my mentors that, you know, I confide in. But, you know, that's really the biggest thing. Like,
I mean, God forbid you ever have to really do that.
Yeah.
But to be prepared, better to be prepared and never need it than
Of
to
course.
wish you were prepared, right?
Yeah.
In the moment, whatever that is, right? Even if it's to, you know, pull open the car door in a car accident to pull somebody out,
Exactly.
your family, your kids, or anybody. If you're not durable enough, if you're not trained well enough, it's going to be a challenge, and you may not be able to fulfill it in that moment. And nobody wants to be in that position. So I definitely agree with you. Hard to kill, being durable as you possibly can to be as long as you can go, right? And the last one that I think when you talk about walking with Peters and the rest of the team in Ohio, trying to finish that 70.3 mile race, is you can't beat someone that will never quit. You can't beat anybody that will never quit. And you might be faster than them, but you're not beating them for sure. 100%. So, again, thanks for the service. Thanks for all of that that you've given the country, and that it's, you know, brought you to this moment with your kids and your family. And you said it wasn't really until you came to Victory, which is only a little over a year ago, really, in our Rise to Try program, where you were going to attack the Mighty Moraine triathlon for the first time. I don't know that you'd done another triathlon before that. No.
You know what one was?
You swim. No. I mean, you swam Army style, right? They threw you in your camis and they made you like paddle around, right? It wasn't actually swimming a distance for sure. So I think that's a telling moment too, because it's been a while, 2017 to 2024.
Yeah.
Right. So you're kind of working things out, figuring some things out, but stuff's not really clicking to your words until recently.
And so, you know, when we go back to that first 13.1, it's kind of when I got introduced to Victory, I think. I was running because, you know, I mentioned my whole life I've been surrounded by legends, right? And so at this point in my life, to be honest with you, I don't even speak to my older brother much anymore, right? And he has a family. He's in Richmond, doing great. We still love each other to death. It's just one of those things where sometimes you think, well, I should text him, right? Or I should talk to him more, right? And so as I've evolved and got older, then my younger brother started to become my hero, right? Sean, you know, from playing at Millersville, all conference guy at Millersville. Now he's coaching in Eastern Michigan. Around that time when I signed up by 13.1, Sean got in the running too. And so he's somebody that, even though he's my younger brother, he holds me to a standard too, right? So I'm just in the middle. I'm just like a pinball between my
Everybody loves Billy.
Well,
you're going to find that out.
Well, Billy, I will probably just go out on a limb. This is just Sarge, you know, pontificating here a little bit, but I guarantee they see you with your military service and the things you've got with your family and all of that. They also see you as holding them to a standard. They're hoping to be like Bill, right? So you're trying to be like Sean and Colin, and Colin and Sean are trying to be like you in some ways, right?
Yeah,
so
maybe,
it's circular. And you guys are in this together.
Yeah.
So
you might have brought him into the marathon
text
too.
him. Yeah, text him.
He's already talking about it, and I will. I'm very fortunate. I talk to Sean every day. But he got into his coaches, you know, the different pit stops he's been in his coaching career held him to a standard. He would share that with me and the things they were doing, whether it was a goals list or like during the summer, they'd like, there's 4 things that you have to stick to. Like, there's no sweets, there's no this. You're running a mile a day, and you hand those goals into the head coach. And so I found that out, and I'm like, man, I got to step up my game. And again, and so I found that out, and I'm like, well, if he's going to run a mile a day, I'm running a mile a day. And that kid became 2 and 3, and then we're talking about our runs and what he listens to and what I listen to, and it just brought us closer together, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But I think all the coaching he got kind of bled into me too, right? And so I'm getting coached by a guy I've never even worked for in my life,
right?
But that's just how leadership works, right? It's
absolutely.
You never know who's gonna. That's why you never know. Someone's always watching, right? And so,
what's funny you say that, because so I had not seen Billy for a long time. Like on Instagram, would like here or there followed each other. Jordan Williams and Andrew Webb, like all his teammates and stuff. We had connections on Instagram, and I had done something. I'm not even sure what it was, and he sent me a message, and the message simply was, just so you know, you've never stopped coaching me. That's what he said. And I said to say, I'm like, wow, like, so it does matter what we do. Cause and the reason I brought that up in this moment is you said people are always watching, and always watching is, holy smokes. Like, this is a kid that I loved. I love Billy, and I got to spend a lot of his younger years with him. Then we lost contact, just from life, like what you and Colin, he's got a family, he's several states away.
Sure.
But then all of a sudden he runs the Pittsburgh half marathon, messages me, you've never stopped coaching me, I'm in. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, what is I'm in?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What does that mean? and I had no clue. Like, I'm like, okay, because I get told I'm in a lot from people like that want to be in Victory. And all of a sudden, the I'm in was, I'm doing a triathlon. Wait a minute, what, do you have stuff? He's like, no, but I'm doing a triathlon.
Yeah.
And that's how this thing got
figured out.
The spiral just unwound.
Yeah, that's great. It's just an amazing journey that you've been on, and being able to find Coach Kenny again, I'm sure has been very rewarding to you. But what's with this first triathlon though? You just you were in.
Must have had a good workout day. Similar to when I signed up for
You just
70.3.
You got your pump on, right?
I must have had a really good run or something. I don't know.
I'm in. I'm doing it.
I just saw it, and I don't know what was going through my head. I think that.
And were you following what Kenny was doing?
Oh yeah, I was following.
Okay, so you're jumping on. Okay,
really just Kenny on Instagram from our mutual friends. Excuse me, but I think then after we spoke, I just randomly went on and signed up for Victory. I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Sure,
he did. That's what I was even
like, hey,
confused. I'm like, what level's Billy doing here?
Yeah, they're like, and Kenny reached out and said, "Hey, I saw you signed up. What do you got planned?" And I said, I don't know. You tell me.
He did. That was what the call
what do you
was.
need me to do? And I'm ready to go. And then he said, hey, listen, we have this Rise to Try thing coming up. If you want to get involved, I think it'd be a perfect opportunity. And I got introduced to Coach Alice.
Yep.
Who's an absolute phenomenal human being. And and from there, she trained me for my first try.
Yeah.
Well, he got a buddy out of that too, Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler, man.
So I was on that very
bless
first
him.
call with them. Like, it looked like Brady Bunch, right? Because we all have squares.
Yeah.
I pop in. Alice has got Chandler's on there. Billy's on there. Brian Wedding's in there from Ohio.
That's right.
and they're all going. And I'm thinking, holy heck, this is happening.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know if he has a bike. Like, what's he going to ride in?
No, I didn't have a bike.
Yeah, I know the story. I know that you didn't have a bike and all of that, and I think that that willingness to just jump in is what we really love about you, just as your personality on the team, right? It doesn't really matter what it is. You're like the likes to go guy, no matter what it is. So I enjoy that. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I'd like to talk about that triathlon that you did, because no plan survives first contact, which was. There was some challenges, I think, right?
Was there?
I think you're going to find out here when you hear this story in Ohio that when Billy races, there's going to be one hell of a finish.
Dude, it was the bike.
So walk us through that.
So we decided we were going to do the Rise to Try. Went on and bought a bike for like $150 on Marketplace. And we got to work. I mean, Coach Alice would meet us at the Y up here. We'd swim. She was just incredible. And we'll get more into Coach Alice here in the 70.3, I'm sure. But we trained together at the Y, North Park, and finally we got to race day. And just being me, jumping in, didn't do the recon of the bike course. Never open water swam in my life.
Nope. And I'm finding out about this because I got to run
like race day. He's like
6 miles with him.
I can see like in his face almost like, you'll be good. But you can see I'm looking at him like, I know that face.
Yeah.
I'm about to feel the pain. And so we get there and I'm feeling, and you let me use your tri-suit. I look like the Michelin man. A little small, but we made it work.
We made it work. The yellow and black one, I think.
Yeah. So we get into the swim, right? We get there, we get into the swim, and me and Chandler are going, and I'm immediately realizing, like, what the hell did I sign up for? Like, why would anyone do this to themselves? I don't know. I'll just keep going, right?
You're in the scrum right now, right?
So I can't
You're
quit.
That's right.
So I just keep going. I'm like coming around the last buoy on the Olympic, and both my legs are cramping up. I'm like, Jesus, I got a whole half of the race to go.
Two more legs.
Yeah, dude. I'm getting out, and like Kenny has the stingers ready for me, and I'm barely getting out of the water, and I can barely walk because my legs are cramping so much already. Before I even get on the bike, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? So I get on the bike. Spirits are high. Like, I'm there, like. I knew I was sucking, but like, embraced the suck. Like I was like, it was like that fake positivity. Like, yeah, let's do this. Like,
You're gonna come through like
I was like, let's do this.
the rambling wreck as you come across the finish line.
My
right?
wife's looking at me like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Like she's looking at me.
Yeah, but like if you would have seen, like you were worried about your cramp and getting on the bike.
Yeah.
If you would have seen her and your son standing there watching you, the proud that they had. That's why you do that race.
Oh yeah, that's why I keep going now.
Yeah.
So we get on the bike.
Plot twist.
It's not even 50 meters in, and I'm like, my legs can't go anymore. Like it's like I'm literally in the beginning. Like, is this how it's supposed to feel? I probably did maybe one brick workout off the Peloton. Like, and so we get going. Chandler's beside me. He decided he was gonna pace me. Right. He had some struggles in the swim, but he was there to pace me. And so I'm on the bike, and we're going up this hill, and I look down, and I'm like, oh, I just fall straight to the ground. I didn't realize both my tires were like flat, like on the rims.
Oh, yeah, they were.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, how long have they been flat? Is that why it feels so hard to pedal? And so I'm like, dude, what am I going to do now? Chandler's like, here, take my bike.
This is the plot twist that we all need to hear.
So we're sitting there. I'm like, dude, I don't know about that, dude. Chandler has a bike where his tires are as thick as this microphone. And it was meant probably
It's a hybrid.
2 or 3 times too small. It was a mountain bike. And it was like a
hybrid bike.
Yeah,
right?
hybrid,
it's a hybrid, yeah.
And I had clip-in. I had my...
It's almost like Tommy Boy with the that guy in a little jacket, like that guy on the little bike.
So he's like, dude, just take mine. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, dude. But we're like, well, we got to keep going. He's like, I got these clip-ins on. He said, no, take my shoes. I'm like, what size you wear? He's like 8.5 or something, 9s. I wear like 11. So I put his shoes on. Luckily, there was a hole in the toe, so my big toe's coming out the top of it. And on his hybrid bike, like the suspension, the handlebars go up and down, like you're jumping off a cliff. The whole time, I just keep going up and down, and I'm going up these hills.
You're getting the big
This
curls.
is like 2 miles in, so I did 23 more miles of
big bicep workout.
pure pain. I remember on the bike, I just had these tears running down my eyes. Like, dude, this sucks. And we made it though. I mean, it was one of those moments where like you get the chills because of how deep you were pushing, and this is when I really got introduced to like, you know, endurance game, right? Or even runners on Montour Trail. Everybody says hello. Everyone says, yo, keep killing it, right? Then I got into the try on that first bike, and there's not one person that passed me that wasn't like, let's go, you got it. Like, you're freaking killing it. Like, let's go. Victory, let's go. And I'm like, dude, these people are awesome. I was like, hell yeah.
Well, he's at having the race. Okay, now so Chandler had his challenge in the swim.
That's right. And then
okay, so then he switches bikes with you. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think your bike was a clip-in, his wasn't.
Yep.
He's never rode a clip-in. Here comes Jeff Van Gora, and he's like, "Hey man, I think someone in a red Victory tri-suit is carrying his bike up the hill and he's bleeding real bad." I run him out on the hill. It's Chandler. And I go, "What happened?" He goes, "I gave Billy my bike. Billy's got my shoes. I'm wearing his bike shoes. I've never clipped in. I wrecked." I'm like, "Holy smokes!" He's
Two
out there
flat
just pumping
tires,
away.
Yeah, it
and
was-
wrecked.
I was like, dude, you sure you're going to ride that? Like, why don't you? There's a truck right there, like the turnaround point. Dude, why don't you just ask them? He goes, no, I got it, dude. I'm thinking to myself, one of us is going in these bushes. Like, one of us is going down today.
He did. He went in the bushes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, we got through it. And
Well, the fight you had on the run was incredible because you were hurting, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't stop, man. Like that 6.2 miles.
oh yeah,
And he didn't even sign up for the sprint. He went for the
Right.
Olympic.
For the Ollie. Yeah, absolutely. Right off
Classic.
the bat.
He said to Alice on the run, he's like, "I probably should have pumped my tires in the morning."
yeah. Like, it was awesome though. I mean,
There's a long list of what you should have done
oh
first.
sure, yeah. When you get into that pain cave, and
Yeah, you're back.
everybody has that, that place they go where it's like, well, at least I'm not being shot at. Or
Correct.
I walked in here. And what's the first thing you said? Like, it's hot in here, but at least we're not in Afghanistan or Iraq. And I go, hey man,
That's right. I'm not in the
you know.
sandbox
So,
right now,
when you have some perspective, it's just like, for me, it's like, dude, I can't quit because if Colin or Sean found out I quit, oh, dude, I'd never.
And you're not quitting in front of your son.
and my
You're not-
son, and then,
your
then you
wife.
factor in my son and my
sure.
wife, right? And we got in the run, and it was hot.
What did you feel when you crossed that finish line?
Dude, I was in tears. Yeah, I was. Then my son ran across it with me.
Oh yeah,
It was incredible. That's when I knew, like,
there's something here.
yeah, there's something here. The community, and my son and my wife being there is huge. Like, for whatever reason, like, and we'll definitely jump more into it when we jump into the Ohio.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I mean, I think that's just to frame up Kenny and I's experience. We started with Revs. Revs, you're allowed to have your siblings or spouse, or I'm sorry, your kids or your spouse run the finish line with you. That's how we grew up on this sport, and they loved it every single time. They would ask, "Can I do it? Can I do it? I'm going to be there for you," and they would be there every single time. Lorelei, Hunter, Paige, and they did it for my wife when she did her 70.3, and it's nothing better, especially when they're tiny, right, and they're cute, and
Yeah.
they want to do it with you, right. And you know that's going to wear off someday, and they're going to be, different people when they
Yeah.
grow up and become adults. But the fact that they got to experience that they gave that to us, right? They gave us more energy to go out and go into the pain cave the following week and the following months to then go do bigger and better races, right? Which is exactly the journey that you've been on, right? So about a year of training up, doing these things, flat tires, different, stealing people's bikes at mid-course,
That's
right?
crazy.
Handing them a broken bike, and now you're signed up, or I'm so many months ago you signed up for the Ironman Ohio 70.3, right?
Yeah.
So what's the feeling when you punch that button, right? And say, "Oh, I'm jumping.
Yeah.
I'm jumping from 24-mile bike to a 56-mile bike. I'm jumping
Yeah.
from a 10K to a half marathon," right?
Yeah. Again, I signed up for it, and I must have had a great workout day that day. Like, something had me fired up.
Ironman knows exactly when to send you those emails with the link.
And so, real quick though, the touch on my son.
Yeah.
Before I move forward,
Sure.
it means a lot to me because now I'm setting that standard for him, as my brother did for me. Right.
That's right.
He's the oldest one, so there's no one there besides me. And so, I'm just hoping that I can continue to do this
And he's going to be the older brother, right? He's going to be the older brother to his younger brother and his younger sister, for sure, right?
Yeah, so
the
it's-
firstborns are always like, we
Yep.
have that. I don't know. God gives us that.
Yeah.
It's put upon us. It's thrust upon us as the oldest. So we're going to make sure we're there for him.
Yeah. So, signed up for Ohio. Looking at races and kind of doing a recon of the races. I had Maryland on my radar. in Ohio. I think Maryland happened 2 or 3 weeks before Ohio did. So it's kind of
you Eagle Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagle Man race.
yeah.
for sure.
And honestly, me and Coach Alice were working towards it. It was always a goal. We never knew with my football schedule and the kids, and you go on Training Peaks and my workouts just jump everywhere. I mean, if I can't get 1 in this day, I'm getting 2 in this day, and as I'm sure everyone, life and kids get in the way. But I don't know, Coach Alice always believed in me, but I think I'm sure she'd say too, like, that was the goal. And she'll leave it up to me to do it. It has to be my decision. But I don't think either of us knew whether we were going to if I was going to make it or not, or actually sign up for it. Especially because I was going to do the Mighty Moraine this year as well to lead up to it. And I hurt my calf in the 13.1, and it felt like I tore it. Like it was like super swollen. So I didn't do the Moraine, and I think there was like some feeling in the air, especially in my heart too. Like, am I ready for this? And I just followed the process and kept listening to everybody that was in my corner. And I just came home one day after a swim, and I was like, you know what? Just fucking do it. Right. And so I signed up for it, sent screenshots to you and Coach Alice, and the rest is history. I was like, I'm committed to it. Right.
Well, I think for people out there that are contemplating their next big race, whatever that next big race might be, I experienced this as well. I was following Kenny after he did his first, half and first full. And I just told my family at the time, I'm like, I think I can just figure this out. I think I can just work hard enough to figure it out. And I don't know what figuring it out really means, but I'm willing to go try to do it. And I think there's a sense of calm, whether that's just the attitude of I'm going to figure this out. If it's duct tape, bubble gum, and baling wire that's going to get me across a couple zip ties, whatever, I'm going to come through that way. Or maybe I'll actually look good, right? I don't know. I have no idea, and I don't care because I'm going to just finish. I'm going to make this thing happen. I mean, I told Kenny my first full Ironman, I said, I was worried about the swim. I'm like, I'll tie milk jugs to my butt if I have to get around that course. I'll do it, right? And that's been our running joke for 15 years now about the milk jugs. But that's just the attitude of, I don't know what this is going to look like, but we're going to go for it.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of intestinal fortitude, right? It's like I don't know how I'm going to do it, but embrace the suck, right?
You didn't know how you were going to do it at boot camp, and you just showed up and said, I'll do what I'm told.
Yep.
I'll just do what I'm told.
Now
what I'm told enough, I'll probably get better, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I think I talk to Coach Alice all the time, and, she had it in her mind, like, I just need him to have a couple good weeks. If he has a couple good weeks and he feels good, then I'm feeling good. And the day I knew that you were going to be fine was the day we did the bike, we swam, and we ran. So I ran and swam with you. You biked a little bit before. And what was really kind of cool is you're prepping for a really big race. And you were worried about, am I being a good husband? Am I being a good dad? Am I being a good, I want to be good at all of this. And it was never, am I going to be a good racer in Ohio? It was never going to be, it was about that. That's when I knew you had it.
Yeah.
Well, that's giving yourself up to the process, right? So you're sacrificing your will to what the race is going to dictate, to what the training plan is dictating. And, even with life getting in the way and you having some schizophrenic balance in there, you were, with your life experience of the way you grew up through your brother's influence and then the Army's influence, you were like, well, I'm just going to figure it out, right? I'm going to make it happen. And I think that giving yourself up to that process, giving yourself up to the Army's process of molding you into a soldier, given your process of becoming a paratrooper, I'm sure jump school was no easy feat, right? That's a big task in and of itself, let alone all the missions you went on and all the execution that you had to do. So I think that's built into you now. That probably was there, but all those things poured gasoline on it. Now that's
absolutely.
Billy Dugan's plan.
Yep.
No matter what, right?
Yeah.
That's, getting new jobs and moving into high tech stuff, right? That you're even doing now. That you probably would have never thought of that years ago. You're like, hey, no, I'm not doing anything about AI. What the hell I know about AI, right?
Yep.
You don't care. I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Show me what you want me to do. I'll do a good job, right? And I'll do it as best I can.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So that's great. So now you're signed up. Coach Alice is believing in you. You're getting some good weeks in here and there. You're getting some good workouts in. You're getting motivated whenever that is.
Yep.
You're buying stuff.
Oh, he
right?
was.
You're getting your gear.
Sarge and I got a call at like 10 o'clock a text. What do you think about this bike? What do you think about this bike?
Oh, I knew after Marine I needed another bike.
Another bike. The $150 bike wasn't going to make it, right?
It was, I got excited. Started looking at bikes. That was probably the big first purchase, right?
Sure.
Bikes, rotating the shoes out, and man, it's just like this family at Victory. Like, I would just go to our guys group, or I would just watch Sipple's another dude that's military guy that reminds me of that standard that I have to get back and I have to stick to, right? Looking at what he's doing, Peters, Porter, like all these people out there. I don't even have to ask, like, what's good and what's not. They just lead by such an example that I can just say, what are they? I can just look at the pictures. I don't have to ask, right? Like, I have so many mentors in this family that I've never even talked to, but they're still my mentor because of the way they approach things, the way they speak to people, like their presence, right? And so
the way they show up. Yeah.
Right. And so, I look around, I did my own research, and got the bike, got a couple good rides in at Panhandle. We got to race day. I think that I was actually more confident in my run, but got the race day, and we can go from there. I mean,
yeah. So what was that like? You're up in Ohio now.
Yep. We get to Ohio. Honestly, the feeling that I had, and my wife kept asking me too, because I get quiet. I get quiet, like when I'm not in the zone, but maybe like nervous or getting my mind right. Most people wouldn't think of me as quiet by any means, but the best thing I can compare it to is I literally thought it was the same feeling I got before I shipped out to Afghanistan. It was the same feeling, and I'm just sitting in my bed like, dude, what the hell am I? What did I do? What did I get myself into? And then you go through the next 20 minutes like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this race. And the next 10, and then the next 5 minutes are like, oh man, am I gonna do it? And I got the text from you the night before, give the course hell. Yeah. And then Coach Kenny called me, and now I'm in tears sitting up in my bed because Coach Kenny's praying with me. And man, there's not many people how lucky are we to have someone in our lives that call you to pray with you? And so I'm like, have a tear running down my eye. I'm sitting up in bed, my wife's napping, and my wife's like, did you just say amen? I was like, yeah. Coach Kenny called me.
Yeah.
And I was like wiping my tears away. And
he went down and did some push-ups.
And again, it's one of those situations where you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
If you don't go in this trusting the people around you, you're going to be screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
I knew if Coach Alice was saying you got it, Coach Kenny was saying you got it, and they weren't backing me down, then I was ready. Right? Ready, whether I was as ready as I could have been or ready, barely ready. If they had any doubts that I was going to injure myself or not make it, they would have told me. We would have just regrouped and figured something else out. And all I can do up between now and when this race started was give it everything I had, prep-wise. It was kind of difficult leading up to it. I did sign up for an Ironman 2 weeks after I go on a family vacation to Mexico, and another family trip here, another family trip there. And so, a lot of those life events and me having to be really disciplined. I mean, January up until July, I knew I was going to do an Ironman. I didn't have one drip of alcohol. Not one. I gave it up. And so all of our neighbors we'd hang out with, all the poker nights, not one drip. And so it was a real huge change and culture shift for me and mindset change leading up to the race. And I never felt better. Like, I actually had a conversation. I told you I was working with Bailey.
Annie's husband.
Yep.
And I had a conversation with him as well, leading right up to it. And I'm like, hey, Lou, I got these lingering injuries. My foot feels like it's broken still. It's just tendonitis, but it's horrible. And I was almost looking for a way out. And he said, dude, you're a man. You said you were going to do something. You do it.
Yeah.
I said, Roger that.
Yep.
Enough said. Let's do it. And so
sometimes you do go fishing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people, it's human nature.
Yeah.
You're starting to hit up against the pressure, right? Self-imposed or just the knowledge of what you're about to have to, the fire you're about to walk into, right? And the mind starts to play tricks. The mind starts making up pains and aches and things and excuses. And it takes discipline, to your point. It takes manning up, to Bailey's point, and it takes the commitment, fulfilling the commitments that you've made to your family, to yourself, to the teammates, right? Because you said, I'm going to do this. I punched the button. I sent the text. I took the screenshot. You flexed in front of the camera, and now what are you going to say? No?
Yeah, exactly.
And you
Get the hell out of here.
And you probably already bought the Ironman finisher shirt.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You already prepaid for the shirt.
You got to get that thing now.
No, so
Crazy.
these are all things that we've all gone through, right? And these are all places we've all ended up in, and now your toe is on that line that morning when it's time to go, right?
Yeah.
And that Ironman announcer's up there talking about the swim conditions, talking about the weather, talking about how you're
wetsuit, legal, illegal.
Yeah, giving you all that data. You can't hear anything. It's all wah, 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 wah at that moment because you're just staring at that water, right?
Yeah.
And that line of people.
But that's why we do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the feeling of alive.
Because what's the feeling when you stand up, hook up, and shuffle to that door, and put your hands on that door jam, right? And you have to jump out of that airplane, and you know what you're going into is not going to be like a graduation party when you get down there, right? You're going to have some resistance,
of course.
So you've done it, and it's adrenaline to some degree, but it's also living up to all those commitments that you've made.
Yeah.
I mean, you're writing checks the whole time. You're just writing checks. Time to cash them. Time to cash them in.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because that morning heading up, we're worrying about the Lake Placid crew, and all morning I kept getting Billy's in the water. Billy's grinding. Billy's killing it. Billy's out of the water. He's on the bike. I was getting phone calls, FaceTimes, letting me know what you were doing. So like all of it was unfolding right in front of me. And what you've done was, like you said, sometimes I'll go in the foxhole with them, but sometimes I won't even ask them a question. They lead by example. You had like, if you're not the people's champ that day, like everybody was Billy this, Billy that, Billy this. It was so cool watching that thing unfold and how many people you've touched with this never say die mentality. I'm going for it. I'm going to play for the right reasons. And they were all loud and proud, man.
Yeah, I couldn't have been luckier. I mean, yeah. Surrounded by legends my whole life,
I think the thing with that, Bill, is none of us really know who those are going to be.
Exactly.
And they're unlikely suspects sometimes, and they come around and they never leave. And I think that's how the true measure is. There's no way we would have ever picked each other out of crowd, right? But it ends up being, you just never know where you're going to turn around.
Yeah.
And the dumb shit we've done and the crazy things we've done and fun, laugh, cry, sweat, pass out almost sometimes, right?
Yeah.
From exertion and other things. But just that's how it works, right? And I think being open to the influences, the positive influences of those people that come into your life is part of this journey, right? Being able to recognize it. I'm sure there's people in this world that can't accept it and they shun it. And that's why we talked in Lake Placid with the group that was about to race. Like, sometimes because we're hanging around with high performing people, it's hard to see how, good we are at some of this stuff. And we're always trying to achieve more because we're in a group of high performing people, right? And it's like decimal percentage of the universe have ever done what we've done, right? In this regard. And to just understand that some people don't have the opportunity, never will, means, money, space, time, facilities, whatever. They live in different parts of the world. But those that could have, that didn't. Those that almost signed up for the military, but didn't. Those that almost did an Ironman or a triathlon, but didn't. They'll never know, right? Those ones that never ventured will never gain the things that we're gaining.
When you got on that boat, you wake up in the morning. Are you amped up?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I think I wasn't nervous anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of just went away. You know, Angie's great. She pumps me up. She was always there to encourage me. She does everybody. Coach Alice was up there. But I think it was like the calm before the storm for me. I didn't know what else to think. Like, it's unknown territories for me. So, you know, it's kind of weird. I got super calm beforehand, and then I was in the back with the wetsuits, and then I stood next to Cap the whole time. And we just talked back and forth casually, and Dave, and
Yeah.
he was awesome.
But did he talk real loud?
Yeah.
He screams.
Turn his hearing aids off.
He said, "Hey, I'm hard of hearing." I said, "I did too." He said, "You have hearing aids?" I go, "Yep." He goes, "Me too." So we hit it off right.
Oh, yeah.
And so no, he was walking me through his experiences real quick and saying, "You'll be fine." I mean, he was a champ. I mean,
Yep.
He's like, "Hey, it's an honor to race with you today." And he just fired me up. So it's like, honor's mine. Like, let's
Yeah, he's
do it.
hell of a leader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell of a leader, right? And he's dealt with his demons and his challenges, and he's overcome. And he's doing more and more and more, and he's inspirational to not just you, but I mean, there's so many people that are Dave Cap fans on the team.
I love him.
Yeah, so it's awesome that you get to spend that time with them.
Yeah.
That's putting people in the right place at the right time. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good that you were in the corral with him. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So that swim was cakewalk, huh?
Yeah.
I'm hearing that.
Honestly,
I'm hearing the first 400 to 500 yards were like a nightmare.
Well, it's weird because when you and I were running, remember the heart rate thing?
Yeah.
The rain, I remember I just couldn't get it down. When I jumped in Ohio, I was just cruising. I was fine. I was so confident in myself at that point. Like, maybe I didn't know any better, but the first 300 or 400 meters I was cruising. Once you get out there, though, a little bit, it was like
A washing
it's
machine.
funny because me and my wife just watched The Perfect Storm like last and I'm like, I'm
Movies
Mark
not to
Wahlberg
watch.
out here.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, Jesus, what a movie to watch before this. And you start to make those funny jokes in your head that get you through the pain. So I'm like, I remember I sighted once towards the first buoy, and I'm seeing like, there's people screaming, "Help!" I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, I'm swimming as far away from them as I can right
There's
now.
like 15 people
Wow.
hanging onto the kayak. People are just getting the shit beat out of them. And my goggles are fogging up. At one point, I thought like I turned around and was going the wrong way. Like, but no, I just kept going. And Coach Alice told me right before the race, like, "Hey, if you're getting too worked up, just have my voice in your head. Calm down." And so I would just say, "Up, another buoy down. Just calm down. Your body's feeling fine." That was a big surprise to me, which shouldn't be because I put in the work, right? But with the adrenaline, I was so scared my legs would lock up. Like, am I going to waste too much energy? And as I'm going on the swim, I'm like, dude, I'm just bored. Like, it was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was like a washing machine, but I was so confident in my ability to stay afloat and at least survive that I just kept moving forward. But I was pretty calm the whole time. Did I have a little bit of panic almost when I look around? Because what I didn't realize is in the wetsuits, not a lot of strong swimmers, right? And so I wouldn't consider myself a real strong swimmer, but you were like climbing over bodies. Like, they should have put 20 seconds in between the wetsuit people because you get out there, you're on top of each other.
And people are stopping and they're treading or they're doggy paddling.
Yeah, I mean, there was times where I just stopped and had to wait for like there was nowhere to go. And but yeah, I just had that voice in my head. You're fine, keep going. And I just kept doing mental checks, like, dude, your body's fine. Stay the pace. I know, you and I, Coach Kenny, talked about this is load management. You're a big boy, you can do it, but just don't go all like. If you feel good, go. Know when to taper it back. It's load management. Get to the run. Once you get to the run, it's only a matter of time before the party starts.
Yeah.
And I just had that in my head the whole time. Like, I got out, and we talked about the transition, right? Like, make sure we save as much time as possible. And I remember I had nothing to compare it to. And the first Olympic I did a little sprint after that. But the first Olympic I did, all I felt was like my legs were done. So when I was getting out of the water in Ohio, I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, I pray to God I don't feel like I did at Moraine.
Yeah.
I got out and I literally sprinted to my bike. I felt so good.
Nice.
That I was up and fast. My wife was like, damn, like you were actually moving. You didn't look dead
Hell
at all.
yeah.
And I was like, I felt good. And I just knew like the transition talk that you had with me, like, hey, be intentional in your transitions, in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a plan because of you guys. And when I got out of the water, it was pretty seamless. I got in and out. Didn't feel, I was worried I was going too fast. I'd feel that like nauseous, like getting out of the water and going too fast. And I felt myself going super fast, and I slowed myself down like, oh no, I feel fine. So I sped it up again, and I got on the bike. And
Crosswinds?
What's that?
I was hearing some winds on the bike.
Oh my God. It was like I had a big ass fan in front of me all the time. Like, the company of big ass fans. It was like I was like going into the wind the whole time.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't have the bike.
It was like I was in a movie Twister, not a Perfect Storm.
He's watching all the bad movies. Yeah.
And so like I'm going on this bike.
But you got a legit bike
and I'm
now.
just thinking I'm a weak biker, right? I'm thinking like, dude, you're fine. Just average this amount the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I have these like.
But you got a legit bike now. You're not on the
and I have
on
these
the
guys
rubber shock absorbers.
Yeah, I have these guys passing me, where I'm passing them, they're passing me, and they're like, "Hey, you think after this turn we'll get some wind at our back for once?" I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, good." I thought I was the only one that felt that. And no, the bike was good. Yeah. I felt fine on the bike. I think I probably was a little too relaxed in the beginning, just trying to stay patient.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have kept my watts a little higher in the beginning. Picked it up probably too much at the end. I was averaging, probably 15 or 16 the whole time until the last 10 miles, and I picked it up. It really motivated me to see people stopping at the aid stations and me not stopping, but I probably should have stopped at one. Last one, mile 45, I planned to stop at that one, knowing I was out of water. And I stopped there, re-upped, and I picked it up. I was moving. For me, it was moving. I was like picking up 19, 20, 21 miles per hour consistently.
Did you have that feeling like, I just want to get off this bike?
Well, it's funny because on the bike the whole time, the mental jokes in my head were, at least I'm not fucking swimming.
Yeah.
The whole time I was just talking to myself, hey, at least we ain't swimming, dude.
That's right.
And, and then in these races, you'll find like that pack of people you stay with, and you start to have those jokes with them too. Like, hey, it's you again.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were way back there. I go, nope, I'm right here, and vice versa, right? And so I found a group of 3 or 4 guys that were, we talked back and forth and kept the morale up a little bit, and that was good. And we just chase each other. Last 3, it was literally 3 miles of the bike. I'm like, dude, you're good. You're gonna make. You're good. You're feeling great. And dude, I almost crashed my bike because my whole left leg cramped up.
Oh my gosh!
When it locks up when you're going, my leg locked up, and I felt my knee move inwards, and my bike kind of almost went off from underneath me. And I gathered myself, and of course made it to the transition for the run. And definitely need to reevaluate my nutrition on the bike. That'll be adjusted moving forward. But yeah, the bike was good. There wasn't any part of the bike where I was like, shit, I'm not going to make it. I knew it was just boring. The whole time I thought to myself, you're good. You're good. You're good. And, there wasn't any. Now in the swim, there was parts where I'm like, honestly, on the swim, at one point I thought, dude, you're packing your bags when you get out, bro. Like, I'm moving, I feel fine, but this water's so rough. I have no idea how much it's pushing me back time-wise.
Yeah.
And so although I felt good and I was moving, I just thought, there's just no way. The waters are too rough. And I got out, and I knew in my head going into the race, if I can get in and out of the water and on the bike all within 60 minutes, I'd be good. And I got out of the water at 52 on the bike in 6 minutes. And so so that was going to plan. And so bike took a little bit longer than I think it should have for me. But again, I think that was also me holding back a lot and trying to be conservative.
Isn't that funny that you just swam and bike and now all you want to do is run?
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to get
and then I'm on the run and I'm like, I'll go back to the bike.
Yeah.
You
right.
start
After you get going.
Right. I'll ride 13 more.
Yeah. You know what? Can I just get back on the bike?
Sure.
And so getting off the bike, I was in high spirits, man. I was ready to rock. And that changed fast.
But did you kind of know in your mind that you almost had it, like it was done when you got out there? When did the party kick in?
I don't think it did. And I'll tell you why. I mean, I felt good. I came out of transition, started my run, and I just felt I couldn't get my legs. And I knew they'd come eventually, but the first mile of the race, you know, there's the sprinklers and the water.
Oh, yeah.
I stepped in the freaking biggest puddle.
Heck yeah, Groundhog Day puddle.
My foot was drenched. By the end of the race, all the skin on the bottom, that's what hurt the worst. I thought I just did a whole mission around a mountain in Afghanistan. My foot hurt so bad.
Right.
You know, I did the run. First half, you know, I saw Coach Alice 1 mile into the run. I told her, I go, legs are done, and we're going to keep rocking. But, like, and I think I'm voicing this stuff because, like, you know, to her on the race, because I know she has, you always think the coaches or people ahead of you have that secret, right? Oh, do this, do that, you'll be fine. No, it's just keep going.
Right.
Right. But you voice this stuff hoping they'd be like, oh, okay,
the silver bullet's coming,
yeah,
right?
It's a silver bullet.
Yeah, let me get the special sauce.
Right.
Yeah,
And she's like,
we've been holding out on you.
she's like, you're good. You have over 4 hours.
The magic wand.
She said that to me. I was like, 4 hours. That's sweet. So I did the 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off the first 6-7 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started. It was weird, and it's probably because of prior Army injuries. My whole left arm was numb. I couldn't feel my feet were numb. My fingers were numb. And it's just the nerve or the compression from the bike. And so I was like, damn, that's weird. And I kept going, and then I started to see stars. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to be a heat casual. I'm going to be a heat casualty. Like, no, don't. You've never been a heat casualty before. Like, don't be that guy. Like, in the Army and the military, you're always like, don't be that dude. You
don't get picked up by the meat wagon, right?
Yeah, you cannot be picked up by anybody, dude. And I'm thinking to myself,
don't be that guy.
Don't be
so
that
like, dude,
guy.
you can't go down. You can't make it this far.
Can't drop from the formation?
Yeah.
The hell's wrong with you?
You can't make it this far only to not make it and have to do all this shit all over again to do your first one. Like, And so, get to turn around. Tanza was freaking incredible, and I'll get into other guys, but he'd be chasing me. Like, and I remember
he'd give you
about
spread cheeks.
halfway, he'd go, Bill, and he looked at me, and I kept looking at Coach Alice and Tanza, and they'd give me the times, and over time, their facial expressions were changing. Like, you got to get on your horse.
You got to get going.
You got to get going. Like, and Tanza looked at me. You got 2 hours, and I was just like, yes, sir. And I kept going, and I'm like, man, his facial expression changed from the last time. He's pretty serious now. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I have the tri mode on my watch, but after like 1 hour, 2 hour, I don't even know what freaking hour I'm on, right? And so, to be honest with you, I was just finished. I just kept going. I thought I was way over 8:30 already. I would just refuse to quit. Like, let them take me off the course. It's fine.
They'll have to come get me. Pry my cold dead finger off.
Yeah, and so, like,
thing,
I'm not
right?
quitting. Like, I'm not just going to quit. Turnaround point, I saw my wife and my son for the first time, and I just knew, like, dude, you can't quit in front of him. You know? And so, you know, I get the mile, basically almost the whole second half of the race, right?
The phone call started and the text started about mile 9.
9, yeah. So that's
when I was getting it. Like,
yeah,
Billy's here, Billy's this.
Brian and what's his name?
Shane.
Yeah, Brian and Shane. They started walking with me like, dude, you made it past a certain time, but they're not going to pull you off, but you cannot stop. You got to keep going. So we just run driveway to driveway, telephone pole to telephone pole. Eventually, Shane went to go grab more stuff, and, you know, Brian was with me every step, like every single step. That last however many miles, 5-6 miles, in his slides, and you know, it's like,
so he's all blistered up too now.
yeah, probably. Like,
Oh, he definitely is. He sent me his feet pictures.
Yeah, I'm thinking literally like, I'm not gonna get it. That's okay, but you can't quit. Like, you're gonna finish. Whether that's in 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever it was, I was going to finish. But I didn't know up until there was 1.3 miles left, according to Coach Alice. She ran up to me on the course, and she's in tears. I'm thinking, oh, my God, what happened? Like, she's in tears. And she said, Billy, you did it. And I just got this like overwhelming, I just got the chills. And I started fucking tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Billy, you did it. You have 45 minutes left just to go a mile. And then I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, it's only 7:50 right now, or it was only whatever time it was.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do it. I'm thinking to myself, last 6 miles, I thought I was done skis. I thought you're not going to make it in 8:30, but at least you're not going to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's almost like that picture of that guy drilling that hole in the cave, and the guy who stops is like this far
From the diamond, from the treasure.
Keeps going. I just kept going.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. They got me across. I mean, that day was, emotional.
Well, you had.
So what's that? That's what it was, right? When you hit that line and
it was. I mean,
the sky opened up and you were just all in it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
getting chills right now. The amount of support from these guys and the Victory family and Coach Alice. What incredible! How lucky are we?
Yeah.
It's just absolutely incredible to be surrounded by such good people. Especially, I told my wife on the way home, in a world so cruel, the fact that I found this family and found these people is just
Yeah, well, I'm sitting there watching Caroline and Candace and Shane and Bill and Kenny's guys all hammering, and I'm seeing the picture with Jaybird and Grace and you and Peters and Porter and Tanza coming in, and I'm like, my man found it. Whether that medal's around his neck, that's his medal right there. That community just loves that moment.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, you started the conversation by saying one of the most iconic or second most iconic finishes. Mike had the same thing happen to him in his first 13-1 in Buffalo Creek. We have a picture here in the clubhouse of probably 15 people finishing with him, championship belt over their over their head.
Tyler Bernard smashed a beer on his head at the finish line.
I mean, we had some celebration, but it was to get Mikey across that line, right? And have him accomplish something that he had set out for. That team, Porter, Peters, Alice, everybody else that was with you. You mentioned Angie, all there, racing some of them, but also there to help you through that and finish, your goal, right? You put in the work, you did the effort, you didn't stop. Even when you thought you were defeated by the clock, you didn't let that stop you. And we mentioned that earlier. You're never going to stop. You're never going to beat somebody that won't quit. And those people that are around you, that are, your mentors, your leaders, the people that are, supporting you and uplifting you, they were meant to be there, and you were meant to be with them at that moment.
Yeah. It was an incredible day. And I think just leading up to it, the amount of people who've texted me, supported me, told me they love me, prayed with me. One person that I look up to, I know we're running out of time here, but one person that I didn't mention is my younger sister, Katie. She's active duty Navy. She's texted me, telling me she loves me. And, when you do things like this and people come out, not out of the woodwork, but they come out and tell you those things.
They come back around, right?
Yeah, it means a lot. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I think we're just getting started.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I knew that was happening. So we'll follow up with what's next for you on a different episode or a different message to the team. We knew in your heart that you were going to do this and that you were going to be successful in some way and that you were going to go on and do bigger and better things. So congratulations. Thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing your story with us on the podcast today.
It's an honor.
Yeah. You've been listening to the Victory Multisport podcast. We'll talk to everybody very soon.